Hello and welcome to episode 3 of The Quality Show. I'm Professor Pauline Walsh and I chair the Trust's Quality and Safety Committee. Some people may think that when we talk about quality improvement, we are only interested in large-scale programmes or complicated initiatives. But sometimes the most effective quality improvement projects can be smaller scale and involve simple, straightforward actions. And even though they may be small in scale, they can be significant in the outcomes they deliver, whether that's process improvements or cost savings. And that is what today is all about. So can I begin by asking my guests to introduce themselves and the role that they play at Combined?
Hello, Pauline.
Hi.
My name is Alicia Truman. I am Patient Safety Facilitator and QI Facilitator for the Trust.
Lovely, welcome.
Hi, I'm Julia. I work with Alicia and I am the admin support and system support for Ulysses.
Lovely, welcome. Now, people watching this show might be wondering what all of this equipment is piled up here on the table for. And to give us a clue, let's see this image. So this is Aid from Ward 6, and he is standing next to one of the Trust resuscitation trolleys. So what have resuscitation trolleys have to do with the quality improvement? So let's turn to you both and ask you, can you give us a bit of background about what we're here to discuss today?
Oh, of course we can, yes. So we both work for patient and organizational safety team. So part of our job is to sort of oversee medical devices, and Julia does that alongside Adrian Greensill, Health and Safety Advisor. And that also includes the Resus trolley.
Okay.
So we came out with a QI project for the team award scheme for the Trust sustainability.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
Okay, and so you were looking at resuscitation in relation to sustainability and how we can improve and enhance.
That's right.
Okay.
We needed to look at the areas that we can either improve the waste we create or save money in line with the sustainability ethos.
Okay.
And that at that point we sat down as a team and we thought, where do we have the most waste? And we have actually obviously came across the stock for Resus trolleys.
Okay.
We have identified there is a lot of duplication when it comes to procurement, because as it turned out, every inpatient area purchase their own stock for their Resus trolley.
Okay, so and the stock is this sort of stuff that's here on the table?
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right. So for example, airways, you only need one to go in trolley, while in reality, in order to purchase that one, you need to buy a bag of 50. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Very similar with other items. In order to provide one for the Resus trolley, you needed to buy a bag of 200, and so on. So every area purchased their own stock and stored their own stock. It might be worth adding that in Trust we've got 14 of the Resus trolleys.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So there were 14 bags of 30, of 50, 13 bags of 100 for those.
Yeah, yeah.
For the whole Trust.
So a huge amount of stock squirreled about in different parts of the organisation for 14 resuscitation trolleys. So that was your problem?
It was the problem.
Okay.
We might ways to add that we don't have a lot of medical emergency in our Trust to warrant the use of such an amount of stock.
Yeah.
So most of those items will sooner be out of date than being used. Therefore, each ward produces significant amount of waste.
Okay, so the nub of this really is, you know, and this isn't all of the equipment that's in a resuscitation trolley, is it?
No, there's some stuff that comes direct from pharmacy, so there'd be the saline solutions and
drugs and things like that. Okay. So what we've got here is a situation where across the Trust you've got 14 trolleys, each area buying their own, ordering in their own stuff, not having that many medical emergencies where you'd actually use the resuscitation trolley as your source of equipment, and therefore things going out of date. and actually having to be wasted.
Yes.
Okay, so that gives us a really good background to what we're looking at. So that then takes us on to the project itself. So can you talk to us a little bit about what your aims for the project were? And, you know, obviously you set those aims yourself. So what were you hoping to achieve?
Well, what we were hoping, in line with the sustainability, we were hoping to reduce or really eradicate the waste for the Resus trolley stock by 100% by December last year.
Yeah, gosh, that's a big aim.
Oh, it is a big aim, but it's doable.
Yeah.
And in line with that, we've also eliminated the purchase duplications across the trust.
Yeah, okay. So those, anything to add to that, Julia?
No, I mean, the wards were very helpful when we sort of tried to set up an email system, didn't we?
Yeah.
But due to shift rotas and it didn't work.
Yeah. So do you want to maybe just talk us through a little bit about how you went about it, what you actually did?
So initially we contacted housekeepers and just said, we're trying to reduce the waste.
Yeah.
Can we have... I said I'd be the contact point for everybody, so they'd come to me and then I'd email round. But like I've just said, the emails didn't really work because of shift rotas, and obviously I only work in the week and not at the weekend. So it was a bit hit and miss on whether we could get people to say, oh yes, we've got this, you can have this, and share them within all of the wards.
So how did you overcome that?
So what we decided was we found a cupboard, we repurposed it.
Lovely.
And decided that we'd just put them all in one place.
Okay.
And the wards were very, very supportive, and I think within about 2 days all the wards had bought all of their stock.
Yeah.
And said, yep, there you go, you run with what you want to do.
Yeah, so you went from a dispersed situation to actually a central stock cupboard for the resuscitation trolleys.
Absolutely. Might be worth adding that we thought about the centralised email system as our PDSA 1 cycle because of the limited space we've got in Heartlands Hospital. But then obviously it didn't really work. So we just needed to come out with something different, didn't we? Yeah. Yes. So that's why we found a cupboard. And yes, the wards were really glad to sort of get rid of all and clear out their space.
And so did that change then who ordered the equipment?
Yes, so then I took over ordering all of the equipment that you see on the table there.
Okay, so instead of having 14 different people ordering, it's now down to yourself as the trust single person to order.
The items are stored in the cupboard on academic corridor, and there is a key and swipe card in reception, so even people out of hours can come and collect the items they need. Julia created like a dynamic list, which obviously updates itself. It's a spreadsheet which tells us which items go out of date first.
Okay, that's really good.
So we can obviously, you know, ask people to use those in the first instance, and anything that needs reordering, obviously Julia is being alerted about that one.
Okay, so it's much more organised then. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So tell us a little bit about, so we know how you went about it. Can you tell us a little bit about the impact and the results of the project?
We've collected data, or the measurement really around the sort of financial way, how much money we've managed to save by implementing this project. And then we can see on screen now that Julia calculated that to equip 14 trolleys for the trust the old way, and when I mean the old way, that means like buying numerous stock just to equip the trolley. It cost over 13,000. That was the old way. Once we've introduced our change, when we had centralised stock and we don't really need to purchase as many items, we just need one bag of airways rather than 14, and so on. It will cost £5,959 to equip all 14 trolleys, and that effectively gives us a saving of £7,600 £42 across 3 years.
That's amazing. That's really good, isn't it? I bet you couldn't believe it when you...
Actually, and I didn't realise how much of a saving it was until I worked out the figures when we were discussing coming on to do the quality show, and then I sat down and I thought, oh, that's a really big saving.
Because we're very focused about sort of reducing the waste. And that was like a secondary measurement for us.
Yeah, so because we know that the NHS is being charged with becoming more sustainable, and actually, you know, a lot of these items are plastic and things like that, so when they go out of date, you know, if they've not been used, that's a waste. It is a waste, so yeah, it is.
So no good for planet either.
Yeah, so that's great. So what we've seen is that a QI approach can deliver real, tangible results. I wonder if you would like to tell us what the biggest learning for you was from actually undertaking this project, and what are your next steps? Maybe, you know, we could ask you.
Maybe the QI ethos, because it did matter to us. It mattered to us to reduce the waste. It mattered to us to save the money. And because it mattered to us, it sort of, we were able to drive it so effectively and efficiently.
I think that the wards did help because they were very keen on not wasting and having all of this stuff that they didn't need. So it's almost like you had a joint sort of wish, really. You had a joint purpose and actually working together with the wards, etc., for a common goal.
Absolutely.
So it shows that when you've got that common purpose, actually, people work together well. Okay, lovely. So what would you tell other people about quality improvement?
Well, we've got an amazing team in our Trust Quality Improvement team, and they are very keen to help. So for anybody who's got small idea or a big idea, please do get in touch, because they can help. They guide you through the whole process of QI. They help you use the tools, the methodology. So yes.
Good, thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to add about how it felt for you undertaking the project and working with the quality improvement team?
I was a bit nervous at the beginning. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, Alicia helped me so much.
Good.
And all of the quality team as well. They all had little snippets of, how can I say?
Advice, support.
Yes, advice and support. And it's not always a big project that you need to do. You know, it's a small project, and it saved quite a lot of money. So.
And how do you feel about it now, having done it?
I'm quite proud, really.
Yeah, good.
Now.
Yeah.
But without realising how much I was actually saving.
Yeah, well, that's really good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Fantastic.
Okay. So thank you both very much. That's been a really interesting project with clear cost improvements and sustainability improvements, and I look forward to seeing the things that you do next. So thank you very much.
Thank you.